Welcome back to Out channel. In this video, we explore the most valuable US coins that could transform your coin collection into a fortune. From rare mint errors to historic treasures, these coins have made millions for collectors around the world. What if I told you that buried in your pocket change is a quarter worth $735,000? Yes, a 25-cent coin that could fund your dream home, pay off your mortgage, and buy that beach house in Florida. There's one very special coin, minted in 1997, bearing the D mint mark, and yes, it's a George Washington silver quarter that collectors are hunting like treasure. Sounds too good to be true? Stick around, because this isn't a fantasy. This is real. And it might be sitting in your junk drawer. Still think your piggy bank is just full of pennies and chewing gum wrappers? Think again. Let's break it down. The 1997 D George Washington quarter looks ordinary at first glance, but only a handful were struck with a rare silver planchet in error. That's the key. These were supposed to be copper-nickel coins. But a small batch came out silver, possibly due to leftover blanks from another production run. Most people spent them, not knowing what they had done. That's like tossing a Picasso in the recycling bin. But what makes this coin skyrocket in value to $735,000? We're about to crack that open. Professional coin graders have authenticated these rare 1997 D silver quarters, giving them mint state grades, and collectors are fighting tooth and nail to get them. The latest known sale? A jaw-dropping $735,000 in a private auction. Imagine showing up to a garage sale with this in your change and the seller says, just give me a quarter, ouch. Let's be real. Most of us aren't looking for ancient Roman coins. We just want freedom, freedom from debt, freedom to travel, freedom to live life on our terms. This coin? It's more than money. It's a symbol of hope. That just maybe, life is ready to give you a second chance, but only if you're paying attention. Can you picture yourself living in your dream house, because of a coin you almost gave to the vending machine? Now listen carefully, because this could make or break your payday. The 1997 date, the D mint mark, Denver, under "In God We Trust," a sharper edge and brighter finish. A hint it might be silver. A real silver quarter weighs around 6.25 grams, compared to the usual 5.67. If it ticks those boxes, you might just have a coin worth hundreds of thousands. But even if you find one, how do you sell it right, without getting scammed? Not all buyers are created equal. Some will lowball you. Some will straight up try to con you. Get your coin authenticated by a reputable grading company like PCGS or NGC. Avoid pawn shops unless they specialize in rare coins. Use auction houses or verified online marketplaces that handle high-value collectibles. And whatever you do, don't clean the coin. Seriously. That can tank its value by thousands. These silver errors are vanishing fast. Collectors are snatching them off the market, and prices are only going up. If you wait too long, you might be too late. So grab a magnifying glass, dust off those old coin jars, and start looking. Because in your hands could be the key to a new life. Unless, of course, you enjoy letting hundreds of thousands of dollars collect dust next to old batteries and expired coupons. You've heard the stories. Now it's your turn to write one, because yes, this 1997 D quarter changed someone's life, and yours could be next. We're diving into the incredible story of the 1987 D mint mark George Washington silver quarter dollar, a coin that's rocking the numismatic world and making average Americans millionaires overnight. Stick around till the end, because we'll reveal how you can check if you're sitting on a fortune, and how to cash it in. When's the last time you checked under your couch cushions? Sure, you might find an old M&M or two, but what if you found $735,000 instead? Let's rewind to 1987, Ronald Reagan was president. Gas was under $1. And the US Mint in Denver was pumping out millions of quarter dollars like clockwork. But here's where it gets interesting. Amid the mass production, a tiny number of error coins were accidentally struck using 90% silver planchets meant for collectors, or earlier mintages, and not for circulation. These silver-based quarters were never meant to exist in 1987. They shouldn't have made it out of the mint. But somehow, a few did. Now, only a handful are known to exist, and their value has skyrocketed, with one recently fetching $735,000 at auction. Now you might be thinking, okay, but I've got some old quarters. How do I know if mine is special? Great question. But before we answer that, you might be throwing away $1 million coin every time you pay at a vending machine. Yes, you, vending machine coin donator. Stop that. Look just below the eagle's tail on the reverse side. You want a D for Denver. 1987. A genuine silver coin weighs more, around 6.25 g versus 5.67 g, and lacks the usual copper edge. Ever dropped a silver quarter on a table? It rings like a bell. Do it. But maybe, not at 2 am. Insert humorous note on waking your spouse with coin clinking. Honey, it's 2 am, why are you playing with coins? Babe, we might be rich. Thousands of people across the US are rediscovering their forgotten coin jars, only to uncover rare pieces that change their lives. One man in Oklahoma found a rare silver quarter in a jar left by his grandfather. It sold for over $500,000. Another woman in Florida found hers at a garage sale. 25 cents turned into $340,000. So, what's stopping you? Your old coins could be your retirement plan in disguise, and the clock is ticking, values are climbing, and collectors are actively hunting these down. Visuals: slow zoom in on a rare coin in glove-covered hands, transitioning to charts of coin values rising. We're living in a rare window of opportunity. The 1987 D silver quarter has gone from pocket change to investment gold, and who knows how high it'll go next. The coin market is hotter than ever right now, with inflation, economic uncertainty, and digital assets losing trust. Tangible collectibles like coins are exploding in value. You might be just one shoebox away from your first six-figure payday. Go through your coins, search for that 1987 quarter with a D mint mark. Weigh it. Check the edges. Test the sound. If it fits the profile, get it professionally graded. Use reputable services like PCGS or NGC. Then, consider auction houses, or even private collectors who pay top dollar. And hey, if you want help, subscribe now. We break down coin values, red flags, and insider tips every week. You've got nothing to lose and maybe everything to gain. What if the next great coin discovery isn't in a museum, but sitting in your kitchen drawer right now? In our next video, we'll reveal the rare 1970 quarter that's been mistaken for pocket change for years, and could be worth over $35,000. Hit the bell. Don't miss your chance. What if I told you that a single coin sitting in your junk drawer right now could be worth over $745,000? Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. There's a specific version of the 1989 D mint mark George Washington silver quarter that has stunned collectors, shocked appraisers, and created instant millionaires. And no, it's not just a lucky coin. It's a ticking time bomb of value just waiting to be discovered, maybe even in your own home. Before you grab a flashlight and start tearing apart your couch cushions, hang tight, because this story gets wild. And if you're thinking, it's just a quarter, how could it be worth a house in Beverly Hills? Oh, my friend, let's take a ride. Let's rewind to 1989. A year of shoulder pads, blockbuster VHS tapes, and yes, coins being minted with mistakes so rare, they'd become priceless. At the Denver Mint, a small batch of $quarter coins were struck not with the usual metal, but in 90% silver, a composition not meant for circulation quarters in that year. Some call it a minting error. Others call it fate. Either way, it made history. Now here's the twist most people don't know: only a handful of these quarters ever made it into the public. And most folks who had one spent it on gas. Or maybe a vending machine soda. But a few lucky, or should I say, observant, people held on. One man found his in a dusty box of war medals. Another? His grandpa gave it to him for mowing the lawn. And just last year, One of these rare coins sold for a staggering $745,000. That's not a typo. $750,000, for a coin most people think is pocket change. Imagine paying for a coffee with that quarter, and the barista just giving you a polite smile while you accidentally tip them into early retirement. But here's what makes this story really interesting: there are still more of these coins out there. Experts believe up to dozens remain undiscovered in private collections, jars, and even piggy banks. So if you're over 30 and you've got old coins stashed somewhere, you might be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. So what exactly makes your 1989 D quarter worth millions, or just 25 cents? Let's break down the key markers you need to look for, because without these details, you might miss the jackpot. Mint mark D, located just below the wreath on the reverse side. It must be crisp and correctly aligned. Silver composition test: these coins sound different when dropped. A high-pitched ring versus a dull thud. Weight should weigh approximately 6.25 grams. A standard quarter is lighter. Edge: the reeded edge should be clean, with no copper layer visible. Proof-like finish, a mirror-like shine, but not always guaranteed. If your coin ticks even a few of these boxes, it's time to get it appraised by a certified numismatist. These rare coins don't stay on the market long. Collectors are watching. Dealers are bidding. And prices are climbing fast. You could wait. Or, you could act now, before someone else does. You're not just holding a coin, you're holding a key. A key to a new life. A chance to turn what you thought was worthless into generational wealth. And guess what? The 1989 D isn't the only coin with hidden fortune. In our next video, we're revealing the top 5 US quarters worth over $1 million, and one of them might be even more common than you think. So subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below: have you checked your change drawer yet? Because somewhere, maybe right now, a life-changing coin is waiting to be found. Well, a 1967 George Washington quarter without a mint mark just sold for $735,000. And here's the kicker: most people would have spent it on a pack of gum without blinking. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot these hidden gems, and why one tiny detail could make you a millionaire. Let's unlock your coin fortune. Let me ask you something: when was the last time you checked your change? No, really, not just counted it, but looked at it, because in 1967, the US Mint released a version of the George Washington quarter that most people completely overlooked. No mint mark. No silver shine like the old days. But what lies beneath that plain exterior is something almost unbelievable. Now here's where it gets exciting. In early 2024, one of these 1,967 quarters, with no mint mark, graded in pristine condition, sold at auction for $735,000. That's nearly $750,000, for a coin you could have tossed in a vending machine. But how? Why? Well, let me explain. Let's pause here for a second. Imagine telling your spouse you accidentally bought a $735,000 Coke from the vending machine. Yeah, that'll go over well. Okay, back to the coin. So why is this little quarter turning heads in the collector world? Isn't 1967 too late for silver quarters? Yes, and no. In 1965, the US Mint officially switched from 90% silver to a copper-nickel clad composition. But during the transitional years, like 1967, some anomalies slipped through. It's believed that a small batch of 1967 quarters were accidentally struck on silver planchets or had unique die errors that made them extremely rare, and because no mint marks were used in 1965 to 1967 for quarters, it's even harder to track these coins, making them mystery gold for collectors. This is where fear kicks in. Because if you had one of these coins, and didn't know, you might have already spent a fortune. Think about that, a life-changing asset, sitting in your sock drawer. Coming up, I'll show you the exact signs to look for on a 1967 quarter, including one tiny detail that can turn a 25-cent coin into a $735,000 treasure. And trust me, most people miss it. But first, let's talk about how to spot the $1 million quarter, 7 to 10 o'clock, so, how do you know if you have one of these rare 1967 quarters? Silver quarters weigh about 6.25 grams versus 5.67 grams for clad versions. Use a digital scale. This is your first clue. Drop the coin gently on a wooden surface. Silver rings with a high-pitched chime, while clad coins sound duller. Silver has a softer, more matte shine. If yours looks too shiny or has a warm tone, it may be clad. If the coin edge shows no copper strip, that's a silver sign. Some of the most valuable 1967 quarters feature double die errors, off-center strikes, or planchet flaws. And here's where the urgency kicks in. Time is not on your side. As collectors age and coins are melted, fewer of these treasures remain. Each year, the value climbs, but so does the chance of yours vanishing in circulation. You wouldn't throw away a Picasso, so don't ignore this coin. Let's be honest, how many times have you cursed at your loose change in the car console? Well, next time, maybe say thank you. That quarter you just yelled at? It could be your retirement plan in disguise. Now you know what to look for, but knowledge alone isn't power, action is. Go check your coin jars. Your change drawer. That random coffee can in the garage, because the next $735,000 quarter could be hiding there right now. You don't need luck. You just need to look, and if you find something suspicious, or promising, consult a certified coin grading service. Because once it's verified, your ordinary day becomes extraordinary. Don't forget to subscribe, because we'll be revealing even more hidden coin treasures, and how everyday Americans are turning pocket change into generational wealth. And in our next video, we'll show you the one nickel that collectors would pay over $2 million to get their hands on. Yeah, you won't want to miss that. What if I told you that an old coin in your junk drawer could be your ticket to $1 million lifestyle? Pause right now. A single 1984 D. George Washington quarter, the one you may have spent without thinking, is valued at $745,000, and that's not even the highest estimate. In the next 10 minutes, I'll reveal exactly why this coin is so valuable, what signs to look for, and how you could cash in before it's too late. Because here's the truth, people are waking up rich, and they didn't win the lottery. They just looked closer at what was already in their pocket. Clapperboard ACT1, the Discovery 0:45, 3:00, the year is 1984. America's economy is transforming. The Cold War is thawing. Apple releases the first Macintosh. And in Denver, a seemingly ordinary batch of quarters is minted. Pause for dramatic effect, but hidden among them, a mistake, a mystery, and ultimately, a miracle for collectors. One such coin, the 1984 D. Washington quarter, appears standard at first glance. Until, it's not. When's the last time you actually looked at a quarter before buying a coffee? Be honest. Never? Well, that might have just cost you a house. Collectors have confirmed that certain 1984 D quarters feature minting errors, planchet anomalies, and high-grade silver content, despite being part of a non-silver issue year. These ultra-rare misprints weren't supposed to exist. But they do. And they're worth a fortune. One specimen, graded MS-67 with a full strike and mirror-like finish, recently sold for a staggering $745,000. But what makes your 1984 D quarter valuable? Stay with me, because Act 2 will show you the exact traits that set these coins apart from the rest. Here's what to look for. The $1 million 1984 D quarter isn't just about the year or the mint mark. It's about what's wrong with it, and what's right. Mint errors: look for doubling in the word liberty, or a misaligned die that slightly shifts Washington's profile. These are not flaws, they're dollar signs. Only coins in near-perfect, mint state, typically MS-65 or higher, fetch premium prices. Scratches? Dings? That's money lost. Metal composition: while the U.S. Mint officially stopped producing silver quarters in 1964, some believe a few leftover silver planchets were mistakenly used in 1984, making those quarters far more valuable. Yes, you heard that right, your grandma's lucky quarter might be part silver. So before you donate it to the laundromat, maybe give her a call and say, "Hey, Nana, wanna split $700,000? Just last year, a man in Florida found one in a coin jar. He'd been saving it since the 90s. One appraisal later, he walked away with enough money to retire early. So now you're probably wondering, how do I know if my quarter is one of the rare ones? And more importantly, where can I sell it for top dollar? The truth is, opportunities like this don't come often. And when they do, most people miss them because they don't look. If you have old quarters, especially those from the 1980s or earlier, get them checked. You don't need a fancy microscope or a PhD. Just a keen eye, and the right guidance. Gather all your old coins, check that junk drawer, coffee tin, or inherited collection, inspect for the 1984 D quarter, flip it. Look for the D mint mark just beside Washington's ponytail. Note any visible doubling, shine, or weird textures. Use a coin appraisal service. Reputable dealers, local coin shows, or even online grading services can change everything. Avoid quick cash pawn shops. These places will give you $5 for a potential gold mine. Don't make that mistake. Actually, let's play a game. After this video, check your change jar. If you find a 1984 D, come back and comment, "Found one." Let's see how many future millionaires are watching. The market is hot now. Collectors are actively hunting, and auction houses are paying record prices. These moments pass quickly. You've worked hard your whole life. Maybe you've dreamed of a better home, an early retirement, a vacation you never thought you could afford. Sometimes, the key to that life isn't out there. It's right in front of you, disguised as pocket change. The 1984 D Washington quarter is more than a coin. It's a second chance. So, what will you do next? Subscribe for more rare coin secrets. Comment below if you've got a 1984 quarter. Check the link in the description for a free guide on selling rare coins profitably. Somewhere, right now, sitting in a dusty drawer, in a forgotten jar, or jingling inside your car's cup holder, could be a coin worth over $745,000. And no, this isn't some fairy tale that I'm talking about. A 1981 George Washington quarter dollar, with a simple P mint mark, that has shocked collectors and auction houses across the country. Still think pocket change can't change your life? Think again, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to sell it, and why this unassuming coin could be your golden ticket. Also, I promise this isn't a secret recruitment video for the Illuminati. But if we end up talking about hidden symbols, just roll with it, okay? It all started quietly. 1981, a year of big hair, disco's last gasp, and Ronald Reagan stepping into the White House. But while America was busy boogieing into the new decade, the Philadelphia Mint produced a quarter dollar that would eventually become one of the most valuable error coins in U.S. history. This seemingly ordinary George Washington quarter was struck with unique die variations, leading to double dies, planchet anomalies, and even rare composition errors. And here's the kicker: most people toss them into change jars without ever knowing. One man in Ohio did that for 30 years, until he finally got curious, listed it at auction, and walked away with over $745,000. Now imagine you gave that coin to your kid for ice cream last summer. That's the kind of loss that keeps you up at night. But before you turn your house upside down, let's talk about what makes this coin so valuable. What to look for: there are 3 telltale signs that your 1981 P quarter might be worth a fortune. The mint mark, P for Philadelphia, located just right of Washington's ponytail. Rare examples show doubling, misalignment, or missing marks altogether. Die errors: look for double die obverse, DDO, where text like Liberty or In God We Trust appears shadowed or duplicated. Silver planchet mystery: even though it wasn't supposed to be silver, some 1981 quarters were mistakenly struck on a silver planchet, intended for collector coins. These weigh slightly more, sound different when dropped, and have a more lustrous tone. Yes, we're asking you to drop your quarters and listen to the ding. It's like coin karaoke, just without the embarrassment. Market value now, in 2024, this coin exploded in interest, with verified sales approaching the $1 million mark. Right now, top condition quarters are appraising between $100,000 to $745,000 plus, depending on rarity and grading. That's enough to wipe out debt, upgrade your car, pay for your kids' college, or heck, buy that lake house you always dream about. How to sell smart? Okay, you think you've got one. Here's what to do right now. Inspect it properly. Use a 10x magnifying loupe, check for doubling, luster, and off-metal signs. Weigh it. Standard quarters weigh 5.67 g. If yours is closer to 6.25 g, that's a red flag in a good way. Send to a reputable grader, PCGS or NGC. These are the only names serious collectors trust. Auction, not pawn. Don't go to your local pawn shop. Use reputable auction houses or online collectible platforms. Because the longer you wait, the more coins flood the market, and when that happens, prices drop. Could yours be rarer than we thought? But here's something few know. There's rumored to be a variant of the 1981 P quarter with a misaligned die strike and a full silver planchet. Only one has been confirmed. If a second appears, it could be the first 7-figure quarter ever sold. Is it in your drawer? That's the beauty of coin collecting. You're not just chasing shiny things, you're uncovering history, value, and sometimes, a new life. If you found this valuable, tap the like button, subscribe, and comment below. I'm checking my quarters now. Because this? What if I told you that a single quarter, yes, a 25-cent coin, could change your life forever, not in a metaphorical way? I'm talking about a real silver coin that looks like pocket change, but it's worth up to $745,000 today, and here's the kicker, it could be sitting in your drawer right now. This isn't a fantasy. This is the story of the 1995 D-Mint George Washington silver quarter dollar, a coin so rare, so mysterious, that it's been nicknamed the Millionaire Maker. Stick with me for the next few minutes, and I'll show you exactly why it's worth hundreds of thousands, how to spot one, and the number one mistake people make that's costing them a fortune. And don't worry, you don't need to be a coin expert. You just need a flashlight, a few spare minutes, and a keen eye for treasure. Let's rewind to 1995. Bill Clinton was president. The internet was barely a thing. And in Denver, Colorado, something strange happened at the U.S. Mint. Among the millions of quarters minted that year, a small batch was struck on 90% silver planchets instead of the regular copper-nickel clad. Mistake? Maybe. Or maybe it was intentional. No one knows for sure, but what we do know is this: those quarters, marked with a small d, just under the word, "In God We Trust," weren't supposed to exist, and like any great mystery, the fewer there are, the more valuable they become. Think of it like Pokemon cards, but for grown-ups, and worth more than your car, unless you're driving a Lamborghini. And if you are, hey, congrats. Maybe you already found one of these coins. But here's the scary part: most people who found these coins had no idea what they were holding. They spent them. Dropped them in vending machines. Gave them away as tips. That's like tossing a Picasso into the recycling bin. So what makes this quarter worth more than almost any other in circulation today? And how can you tell if you've got one hiding in your home? Alright. Let's talk about what separates a basic quarter from a life-changing one. The date and mint mark. You're looking for a 1995 quarter with a D mint mark, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. The color and weight. These rare versions were struck on leftover 90% silver blanks, instead of the typical copper-nickel. That means they'll look slightly shinier, and sound different when dropped. They also weigh about 6.25 grams, slightly heavier than regular quarters. The edge test: regular quarters show copper on the edge. But these silver quarters? Solid silver color all the way through. No orange stripe. Okay, so let's say you find one. You're holding it. Heart pounding. Hands shaking. You just found a coin that's worth more than most people make in a year. What's next? Because if you don't handle this next part right, you could lose everything. First, don't clean it. Ever. Cleaning a rare coin is like repainting the Mona Lisa, it destroys its value. Next, get it professionally graded. Use a service like PCGS or NGC. They'll certify the authenticity and condition, which can make the difference between a few $100s and hundreds of thousands. Auction or private sale, heritage auctions and stacks. Bowers have sold rare coins like this for six-figure sums. Or, if you prefer a quick, no-hassle sale, there are reputable coin dealers and collectors who are ready to buy. Imagine this: next month, you're standing in front of your bank account, and there's an extra $745,000 staring back at you. That's not just money. That's freedom. Pay off the mortgage. Travel the world. Help your kids. Fund your retirement, all from one single coin. Cliffhanger for retention. But what if I told you, the 1995 D isn't the only one? In fact, there are dozens of rare quarters, dimes, and pennies that are still in circulation right now. In our next video, I'll reveal the top 5 coins that could make you a millionaire before the year ends. So if you want to stop throwing away wealth and start living the life you deserve, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and check your change. Imagine finding out that this tiny piece of silver could be your ticket to financial freedom. But there's a catch. Keep watching. Now, let's rewind a bit. Back in 1965, the U.S. Mint produced millions of quarters. It was a standard issue, just like any other year. But this quarter? Something was off. Something that no one noticed at first. It was a tiny detail, almost invisible to the naked eye, but it would go on to change the lives of a few lucky collectors. In 1965, the United States was in the midst of a monumental change. The nation was grappling with economic shifts, and the mint was tasked with reducing the amount of silver in coinage to cut costs. But in the midst of this, a few quarters slipped through the cracks, quarters without a mint mark. These no-mint mark coins are extremely rare, and now they're worth a fortune. How much are they worth, you ask? Well, in 2023, one such 1965 no-mint mark quarter was auctioned for a jaw-dropping $685,000. That's not a typo. If you're sitting on one of these, you might be sitting on a small fortune. Do you feel that excitement? That could be you. Imagine turning a quarter from your loose change into $685,000. Does that sound impossible? Keep watching because the journey doesn't end there. But here's the thing. These coins didn't just appear by magic. No, there's a story behind every rarity. A mystery so fascinating that it'll make your heart race. So, what's the deal with these 1965 quarters? Why are they so valuable? First, let's break it down. Normally, every coin produced by the U.S. Mint carries a mint mark, telling us where it was made. But in 1965, there was a strange glitch. A small handful of quarters got produced without a mint mark at all. It's like a secret treasure, hiding in plain sight. Collectors and investors know that these mistakes, these errors, can be worth a lot more than their face value. A mint mark error makes the coin incredibly rare. And when rarity meets demand, you get something truly special. You could be looking at hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars. People are hunting for these coins. They're rare, they're valuable, and they're becoming harder to find. If you own one, you've just unlocked the door to financial freedom. But wait, before you rush off to check your quarters, let me ask you something. How sure are you that you actually have one? Because, my friend, there are some traps you need to avoid. Don't get too excited just yet. Let's make sure you know exactly what to look for. Here's the big question. How can you tell if your 1965 quarter is the real deal? How can you separate the wheat from the chaff and avoid wasting time and money? Let's go over the clues you need to spot. First, the mint mark, or rather, the lack of it. Normally, the mint mark would be just below George Washington's portrait. But on these error coins, it's missing. Take a close look. If you see a blank space, you may be in luck. Second, you'll want to check for wear and tear. The more pristine the coin, the higher its value. A quarter in excellent condition can go for a lot more than one that's been through decades of circulation. Think about it, who wouldn't pay a premium for a rare treasure in near mint condition? But let me tell you something, don't wait too long to check your coins. The market for rare quarters is heating up. Investors are starting to catch on, and as the years go by, finding one of these rare coins will become even more difficult. And that's when you'll wish you had sold it yesterday. So, what now? You've found your treasure. You've verified it's the real deal. How do you sell it for the maximum value? Should you go to an auction? Or is there a better route to cash in? Well, there's one little known trick that most collectors don't want you to know about. And trust me, it could mean the difference between a few $1,000s and $685,000. To learn exactly how to sell your 1965 no mint mark quarter for top dollar, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss this. We're diving into one of the most extraordinary and potentially life-changing finds you could ever make, the 1986 P mint mark George Washington silver quarter. But here's the catch, many people have this coin sitting in their drawers or coin jars, and they have no idea it's worth over $680,000. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to spot this rare gem, and what to do if you ever find one. And let me tell you, if you think your quarters are just pocket change, you're about to get a wake-up call. Let's begin with the basics. In 1986, the U.S. Mint released the George Washington silver quarter, a coin that, at first glance, looks like any other quarter in your change. But here's the shocking part, this coin, the 1986 P mint mark version, isn't just a typical quarter. It's a treasure worth upwards of $685,000. Now, you might be thinking, I have a quarter from the 80s, but I never noticed a mint mark, and I certainly didn't see a fortune. And that's the crux of the problem, most people have no idea they're sitting on a goldmine. So let's break this down. A penny saved is a penny earned. Well, let's just say a quarter found could turn you into a millionaire. But don't get too excited yet, there's a catch. Let's dig into why this coin is so rare. Here's where things get interesting. In 1986, the U.S. Mint produced a limited number of these coins at the Philadelphia Mint, the P mint mark you see on the coin. But here's the kicker, a mistake in the minting process led to a series of misstrikes, and only a small number of these coins actually made it into circulation. Coins are like fingerprints. Every one of them tells a story, and in the case of the 1986 P George Washington silver quarter, that story is one of rarity, precision, and pure fortune. But it's not just about the number of coins made. It's about how the minting errors are perceived by collectors. Some experts say the coin's true worth comes from these errors, which make it a unique piece of American history. But, here's the problem, if you don't know what to look for, you might miss out on a treasure that could change your life. What exactly are the signs? Well, keep watching because we're getting to that next. Now comes the exciting part. How do you know if you've got one of these rare quarters? The answer lies in the details. First, check the mint mark. Is it a P? That's your first clue. Next, examine the edges for any minting errors. You're looking for unusual markings, misstrikes, or even double images that suggest the coin was struck incorrectly during production. A properly identified 1986 P mint mark George Washington silver quarter with minting errors can be worth up to $685,000. And that's not just talk, real collectors and investors have paid that much for coins in pristine condition. And let's talk about selling the coin. This is where you need to act fast. You may think you can hold on to the coin for a few more years, but collectors' interest is rising fast. So, what should you do next? Get your coin professionally appraised. Now, you might be surprised to learn that a certified coin appraiser can tell you exactly how much your coin is worth in today's market. And remember, even if you think it's just a regular quarter, having it professionally authenticated can skyrocket its value. Plus, let's be real, a little extra cash could be the difference between a nice vacation and, well, a life of luxury. Who wouldn't want to say goodbye to the 9 to 5 grind and hello to a penthouse view and a beachfront property? So, Are you ready to take action? What if you find one of these rare coins, and it turns out to be worth a fortune? Don't wait for another minute. Start digging through your collection, and get that quarter appraised today. Because who knows, your next quarter could be worth more than just loose change. It could be your ticket to a life you've only dreamed of. But there's a twist in this story, and you'll want to stick around for that. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because in the next video, we'll reveal the other $1 million coin that's flying under the radar right now. You won't want to miss it.